Hello, I'm meteorologist Danielle Moss with another weather impact update for you. We are continuing to track the tropics this evening. Here is another update on Hurricane Humberto. Still a Category 4 storm with 145 mile an hour winds. It's moving northwest at 13 miles an hour. A very organized storm still. It is not really moving very fast. Northwest at 13 miles an hour, still holding on to that Category 4 strength. As it continues to push northward, we could see it become a Category 3 storm really overnight Monday going into your Tuesday, but still nevertheless staying away from that coast. We are continuing to track Tropical Storm Imelda. This is huge because this is our first time this hurricane season where we've been actually monitoring a storm that could be making some kind of impacts on the United States. And as of right now, because this storm is moving so slow, it looks like we are going to be missing out on direct impacts. Still be seeing some rain, but not a direct landfall impact. Here's a look at the latest update on this. 40 mile an hour winds, and it's moving north at 9 miles an hour. Spaghetti models are keeping it off to the east. There's only one that's trying to hook it back into the Carolinas, maybe even close to Georgia, but that looks very unlikely at this point. A tale of two storms. I keep saying it, I know, but you can see the difference in these storms. Hurricane Humberto still very, very organized. Look how intense that eye wall is on that storm. And then when you take a look at the tropical storm, it just looks like a lot of moisture. You're not really seeing that intense eye wall. We're not really seeing it gain strength just yet. The latest update shows that it could be maybe even Tuesday or Wednesday before this storm actually becomes a Category 1 storm. And as of right now, it is expected to be a tropical storm until then. Some other updates are the watches and the warnings. They did take away some of the watches that were stretching up the Florida coast to the state Georgia line. And now we're only seeing a few tropical storm warnings in place for the coast of Florida and even parts of the Bahamas. Now, one thing that we are continuing to watch will be the rainfall amounts that we could be anticipating here in Georgia and across the coast of the Carolinas. Your forecast track shows how these storms could interact with each other and how much rainfall we could be possibly seeing. Monday evening across the coast of Georgia, South Carolina, North Carolina, even into Florida, definitely seeing some heavy rain, but into metro Atlanta, the best chance to see some rain maybe Tuesday afternoon into Tuesday evening. Then we start to dry out as we head into your Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. Some lingering rain chances might be possible, but because the storm is continuing to seem as though it's going to hook back out to the east, all of our rain along the Georgia coast specifically may be less than 2 inches. Now, as you get into the Carolinas, there could definitely be some pretty high rainfall totals. In fact, maybe 3 inches depending on where you are and where you're looking. But here in Atlanta, 1/2 inch at best. And that's it. Now, there is a marginal risk for some excessive rainfall. You can see the entire state of South Carolina engulfed, most of North Carolina, a very small portion of North Georgia, East Georgia specifically, across the Georgia border as well, and even through portions of Florida. What we're anticipating right now is seeing some moisture being pulled back in, and that will create some rainfall for us. It does look like Monday's our best chance to see some of that heavy rainfall in East Georgia. Tropical winds, we could be seeing some winds increase for sure. You see how tight those gradients are as they're coming across central and East Georgia. That lets you know exactly how windy it's going to be. Those almost look like straight winds. So we have to be careful when we talk about getting a lot of rainfall and those high winds. So that's another threat that we will be watching for. Right now, rainfall totals are so low that if you factor in those high winds, we're not going to be looking at any trees coming down. But we've had a really brutal summer with some pretty strong storms that came through. We had a winter that definitely killed some trees. So it's definitely something that you want to keep an eye on. You want to make sure that you're getting those trees checked around your home so that you are safe. You also want to make sure that if you have anything outdoors, that they are secure, because by Monday morning, we could be seeing winds gusting upwards of 20 miles an hour in some portions of metro Atlanta. And that trend continues throughout the day on Monday, with seemingly a little bit of a break overnight into Tuesday. But then we start to see those winds picking up again for your Tuesday and into your Wednesday. One thing that we do see when we're talking about these tropical systems is that water that could fuel or rapidly intensify some of these storms. As of right now, we're not seeing many changes with that water temperature, but here's the deal. It's a peak of hurricane season. While we're not anticipating a storm as of right now to develop in the next 2 to 7 days, if we see anything develop in the Gulf, look how warm this water is, 87 degrees, 86 degrees. That could definitely help some storms rapidly intensify. So that's something that we'll have to continue to watch. And if we do see another storm, it will be the J-name storm, which is Jerry this year. Not to be taken away from our current tropical storm, it is going to be bringing a little bit of impact to us here in Georgia, but nothing to be concerned about. We don't want you to be concerned, but we do want you to be updated on the latest forecast track. Into North Georgia, there are a few spotty showers, and that is because of that tropical storm. Metro Atlanta looking nice and beautiful as the Falcons come off of a big win. 83 degrees currently, temperatures already falling. Winds, though, already picking up. East-northeast at 14 miles an hour. Current temperatures across the rest of our viewing area into North Georgia, it is the low 70s. That's because of that cloud cover that they're seeing sneaking in. You can even see in Athens at 78 degrees. However, in West Georgia, in Carrollton, around 82 degrees. Wow, that's absolutely gorgeous coming from Truist Park. That's absolutely gorgeous sunset. This is the kind of weather we like to see. The Braves won today too, so that's 2 wins for the home team, and we're winning with our weather as of right now. Temperatures will be staying into the mid-80s over the next few hours, but as we head into the rest of tonight, we're going to be mostly dry. Maybe a few stray showers in North Georgia, but staying mostly dry. Tomorrow's going to be the day where we actually see some impacts with highs near average. We've been well above average, so now we're going to be transitioning into a period where we're going to be looking at some cooler temperatures arriving. We did have a cold front that came through earlier this weekend, and that's going to be providing some of that cooler air. You factor in the cloud cover from the tropical storm, and you get an 81-degree afternoon. It's going to be pretty good, but we will be tracking some rain showers though. Here's the latest forecast track. I think that it's looking more likely that by the time we get into Monday afternoon and Monday evening, we could be seeing some more of this rainfall really develop into East Georgia. This is Monday at 5:30 p.m. Your Monday morning commute is not going to be impacted, but your Monday evening commute might with some pretty heavy showers. And then we start to see things dissipating as we prepare for your Tuesday. Rain chances in the next 5 days, 30% chance for your Monday. Then they decrease into your Tuesday and Wednesday. We thought it was going to be flipped. We thought Tuesday was going to be a little bit more likely to see some more heavy rain showers, but it looks like Monday's probably going to be the day where we see some rain sneaking on in here. Here's a look at a different forecast track for you, a wide view. Definitely seeing some heavy rainfall into Charleston, South Carolina. And then as we continue to put it into motion, Tuesday morning, look how cloudy it's going to be at 4 a.m. Definitely going to be seeing some pretty thick cloud cover. That's going to be providing us with some cooler temperatures as we head into the beginning of the week. And then as you can see, most of Tuesday, mostly dry. Long-range futurecast, this is looking at our American model, still showing the same thing. This American model now backing way off of that rain until we get into the weekend. So that's great news. In fact, that American model barely had any rainfall coming in at all from this tropical storm. Here's a look at our European model. Same weather story, maybe some rain Tuesday evening. That's the thing with these forecasts. They are ever changing, right? So you have to just stay on top of the forecast because one model run shows rainfall in the morning of a Monday, one rainfall maybe Tuesday evening. So just want to make sure that you're staying up to date on the forecast. My personal opinion is I think that Monday evening is looking a little bit more likely for us to see some rainfall, specifically into East Georgia. Tuesday still kind of up in the air. I would be prepared just in case you run into a stray shower. Nevertheless, we're not tracking any severe weather, which is great news for us no matter where you are. Here's the latest. I want you guys to all kind of wrap this up. Tropical Storm Imelda impacts on Georgia. What are we most concerned about? Wind gusts. Winds could be gusting upwards of 20 miles an hour. Our rain chances will be increasing and our temps will be cooler for the rest of this week. Here's a look at that 7-day forecast for you. Temperatures into the 80s to start the week. Definitely going to be seeing some spotty showers Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. Then we dry out and cool off for this weekend. This weekend looking to be pretty okay. Now, this forecast can change specifically for the weekend because some of those models do have some rainfall being pulled in. But as of right now, it does look like at the very least we should be dry for at least Thursday and Friday of this upcoming week. We're going to continue to update you guys every hour until around 11 o'clock where we are expected to come on air. For now, meteorologist Danielle Moss, here are a few radar loops so that you all can track the weather yourself. Hello, I'm meteorologist Danielle Moss with another weather impact update for you. We are continuing to track the tropics and the potential impacts here in Georgia and across the Carolinas as well. Here is the latest update and the latest advisories for Hurricane Humberto. This just came in. This is the 8 p.m. update. You're hearing it first right here on 11 Alive Plus. Winds 145 miles an hour, still moving northwest at 13 miles an hour. What this tells me, we haven't had much of a change with our storm as of right now, but the update will be the track. This is what I just finished looking at. It's still a well-organized storm, well-defined eye, still a strong Category 4 storm with 145 miles an hour. But the latest update does show that it's even further away from the United States coast, even further away from seeing any impacts here, especially across the United States. Now, by the time we get into Tuesday, we'll start to see the storm really start to weaken, but it could hold on to that Category 4 strength until at least Monday. The big story, though, the big storm that we are continuing to watch, and we want to see if these two have any interaction. As of right now, we haven't been seeing that happen at all, but Tropical Storm Imelda, 40 miles an hour right now, the winds moving north at 9 miles an hour. This is the latest update as of 8 p.m. So let's take a look at our latest spaghetti models. We still have one that's trying to bring it in, but all of the rest of them have it going out to sea, and it does look like that is more likely. But you can see the difference in the two storms still, even with this 8 p.m. advisory. Still not seeing a lot of organization, but a lot of heavy rain moving through the Bahamas right now. And you can see how organized Humberto is over in the Atlantic. This is the latest forecast track for Tropical Storm Imelda. As of right now, it's going to continue to be a tropical storm until Tuesday or Wednesday. Then we could see it intensify and maybe become a Category 1 storm. But as of right now, we're definitely not anticipating any huge impacts across the U.S. coast. Now, this is another update. Our tropical alerts, tropical storm warnings in effect for the coast of Florida as well as the Bahamas, as you can imagine. However, they did scale back, that tropical storm watch that was in effect for portions of North Florida. Here is a look at our latest forecast track. What can we expect here in Georgia? How will these two storms interact? As of right now, we do see some rainfall, some heavy rain that could be coming into the Carolinas, South Carolina or North Carolina. The storms looking to be two different entities. We could be seeing some rain kind of being pulled in. That does look like maybe some strength from Tropical Storm Imelda could be weakening a little bit as Hurricane Humberto continues to churn. One thing for sure is after these storms pass through, we are going to be dry as we wrap up the week. Rainfall in the next 5 days, maybe seeing some heavy rainfall along the coast of Georgia, but even in coastal places like Savannah, Tybee Island, maybe seeing 1 to 1.5 inches here locally, here in Metro Atlanta, maybe ½ an inch of rain at best. Here is a look into our flood risk. And I think this is a big part of the weather story. How much rainfall are we going to be seeing? It really is about the timing of the rain. As you can see, we're only forecasting maybe 2 inches at most, but if it all comes at once, then that's when we start to see that flood risk increase. So that's what the National Weather Service and the Storm Prediction Center concerned about. Also, there's some drought conditions, so that does up the concern just a little bit. But here in East Georgia, we are in a marginal risk to see some heavy rain, and that is because they're trying to be proactive and make sure that these forecasts continue to stay on one accord, but they have been changing pretty frequently. Here's a look at our tropical winds. You can definitely see those tight wind gradients coming across central and east Georgia, and that's going to be continuing through most of the week. Even once we start to dry out, those winds will be gusty. Tomorrow will be our first day of really gusty winds. You could probably notice them being higher than normal today, but maybe 22-mile-an-hour wind gusts as we head into your Monday morning, and that's going to be sticking around into Monday evening. One thing for sure, you want to make sure that you have anything secured. If you are in East Georgia, you definitely want to make sure that you are paying close attention to the forecast, because when you're talking about 22-mile-an-hour wind gusts, maybe ½ an inch of rain, you could be seeing some sticky situations with some trees that might have already been battered from winter and some of the severe weather that we got this summer. Now, as we progress into Wednesday, it does look like those winds will be calming down just a little bit, but still a little bit gusty. As we take a look into our water temperatures, this is what we look at to see if there's storm fuel there. One thing for certain is we are not anticipating any storms to develop as of right now between the next 2 to 7 days, especially in the Gulf. But if that does happen, these waters are very warm, and that could kind of increase our chance to see some rapid intensification, even along the Georgia coast where those temperatures are near 82 degrees. If we do see another storm develop here, it's still the peak of hurricane season. It would be Jerry. The J names, that's our next storm. But as we take a look at our satellite and radar, still not seeing anything that could be concerning as of right now. Cloud cover for sure in the Carolinas. Some of that cloud cover bringing some pretty good rainfall to North Georgia as we take a zoom in there right on Ellijay, unfortunately. Some showers developing north of Rome near Calhoun. This is a look into Midtown. It is gorgeous out there, 81 degrees, nice and dry here in Metro Atlanta. Temperatures though, you can see the difference, 77 in Dalton, 83 in Rome, but those temperatures will be cooling if you all get any rain. 75 in Canton, around 76 in Gainesville, 67 in Blairsville, and a beautiful sunset over Truist Park this evening, where our temperatures over the next few hours will be falling into the 60s. Here is a look at our forecast track as we head into the overnight hours. You can see in the morning when you wake up, temperatures will be into the upper 60s, low 70s, depending on where you are. Cloud cover will be increasing. That's going to be making it a cooler day for us for your Monday. All of the cloud cover is associated with a tropical storm, and it's going to be increasing throughout the day, and that means that our rain chances will be increasing as well. So the latest forecast track does show by lunchtime tomorrow, we could be looking at a few spotty showers. Your commute to work looking mostly dry. However, your commute home, especially in East and Northeast Georgia, we could be seeing some pretty decent spotty showers, and then we start to see those showers dissipate overnight as you prepare for your Tuesday. As far as rain chances are concerned, a 30% chance for some rain on Monday, 20 for Tuesday and Wednesday, and we could scale that back. We could be changing it. It just depends on how the forecast shapes up. But as of right now, it does look like Monday will probably be the best chance for us to see some rain. And now we're starting to see this longer range, wider range forecast track show the exact same weather story. You can see Monday afternoon around lunchtime, and then even before we get into the overnight hours for Monday going into Tuesday, and then Tuesday looking a lot drier than what we initially expected, and maybe even staying mostly dry through your Wednesday. Our American model for our long range forecast track still holding off on a lot of rainfall from this storm, but we could be seeing some increasing cloud cover and some increasing rain chances as we head into the end of the week. This is look at our European model. It does pull some of that rainfall in for your Monday, maybe even some for your Tuesday. That's why we left that 20% chance in for your Tuesday. And then Wednesday, drying out mostly, and then maybe even staying dry until we get into the weekend once again. Here's what we want you to know. The most important parts of this storm system. The Tropical Storm Imelda, it could have some impacts on Georgia for sure. Our winds will be increasing, maybe wind gusts of near 22 miles an hour. Rain chances will be increasing, and the cooler weather will definitely be something that we will be enjoying if you like the fall. This is going to be a great week for you to get out and enjoy this weather. 7-day forecast, 83 degrees for tomorrow. One of the warmest days, very seasonable for this time of the year. And then we start to see our temperatures falling down as we head into the rest of the week. We could add some of those precipitation chances back to the forecast by Sunday, but it does look like Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, as of right now, looking mostly dry. We'll continue to update you and update this forecast and bring you the latest. I'll be back here on 11 Live Plus at the top of the next hour.